Hi, I'm Brent Lyles with Chicken Hill Solutions and NYOS Charter School. I'm back for the third video in our 6-part series on grants. How do you write a grant? How do you get the money? You may remember we talked about a 4-step process. Step 1 is planning. You're putting together excruciatingly detailed plans for the project that you want to propose. What do you want to get money for? The next step is research. How do you find those funders that are going to be a really good fit? Step 3 is writing the proposal itself. And then step 4 is follow-up. When you hear back, what happens next? Today we're going to talk about research, and I'm going to come back again and again to this idea of fit. What I mean by that is mission alignment. You want to make sure that whatever funder you are applying to has a really good alignment with their goals. It lines up with what you want to do. The joke is, if the fit don't fit, you won't get Shinola. And it's totally true. Like, if the fit's not there, you're not going to get the money, so don't bother. As you're doing your research, you're looking for that fit. Now, there's different kinds of funders, right? Government funders, corporate foundations, private foundations like family foundations or community foundations. It might be a giving circle model where a bunch of people throw their money in a pool and then they give that pool away. All of those are fair game, and all of those are things that you're going to be researching as you do the research for your grant proposal. Now, lots of different resources are out there. As corny as it sounds, I usually start with a Google search. Let's say I'm looking for funding for a project in the classroom. I'm going to type in grants for teachers and see where it goes, right? Chase that little rabbit trail and see what happens. You might find something really good. Now, another great resource that people often don't think of is your colleagues and friends. You've got this network of people that do what you do, right? Maybe they're fellow teachers, maybe they're people that work in nonprofits that are similar to yours. Where do they get their money from? Find out. Do some research on what they tell you. Now, let's say you talk to someone and they say, oh yeah, last year we got a grant from the George Family Foundation. I'm making that up. There probably is a George Family Foundation out there. What you do with that is that you go to a website called GuideStar, and it's at guidestar.org. GuideStar is a clearinghouse for official, publicly available information about nonprofits. And most of these funders, like the private family foundations, are going to be registered as nonprofits, and they are going to be required every year to turn in what's called a Form 990. When they do that, on that form, they have to disclose who they gave money to. So when you go to guidestar.org and you pull up that Form 990, scroll through to the very end. And usually there's a long list. Sometimes it's a short list, but there's always going to be a list of who they funded. What you're looking for is, you're looking to answer 2 questions. First, do they fund organizations like yours? If you work in a charter school, have they funded other charter schools? The second thing you're looking for is amount. If most of their grants are in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, you don't want to ask them for $50 because you're not going to get it. You want to make sure that you're asking for the right amount. GuideStar is a very valuable tool. Also, you're going to want to check out one of these online searchable grants databases. Now, there's a bunch of them out there like GrantStation and Big Online, and they all have their pros and cons. My favorite is one that's called Foundation Directory Online. You can see I put little hearts on it to show you how much I like it. Foundation Directory Online is terrific. You go to this database and you type in, I want funding for K-12 students in the Austin area that serve low-income kids. Show me everything that's been funded in the last 3 years. And it brings up this list. And maybe it'll be 15 different foundations that then you can go look for. Now, Foundation Directory Online does cost money. It costs about $200 a month, which is not small change. But what I do is that when I've got a project that I want to do research for, I sign up for 1 month and I do a bunch of research in that first month, and then I cancel my membership, which is totally fine. You're allowed to do that. Sometimes, if you're lucky like me and live in a city like Austin, there will be somewhere in town where you can get access to this directory for free. In Austin, it's called the Texas Grants Resource Center. You can go in there and they've got it available for you. It's a terrific resource. Another way that you can find funders is steal them from other people. Now that sounds crazy, right? But just the other day I was working on this curriculum project and I happened to know of another organization that does similar curriculum work. So I went to their website And wouldn't you know it, it says, "Thank you, Foundation XYZ, for your support. Thank you, Foundation ABC." All of a sudden, I've got some more funders that I can do some research on it. So you put all of those pieces of information together, right? Website, GuideStar, Foundation Directory online. You're trying to paint a picture of what they like to fund and find that fit. Now, you've done your research. You've found 4 or 5 funders that you want to apply to. The next step is calling them. Call them, email them, try to set up a meeting with them. It's critically important, and here's why. When a foundation releases its RFP, its request for proposals, they're going to get 1 million applications, right? And some of them are going to be high quality and some not so much, but the ones that stand out are going to be the ones that they know, that they have a relationship with. So by calling them, you start creating that relationship. Hey, really, this organization right here? I just had a phone call with them the other day. Let's see what their proposal is. If you call them, the information can be really valuable. They might say, "Hey, your proposal sounds like something we'd be interested in. Go ahead and submit an application." Or they might say, and this has happened to me, "You know, the information on our website is a little bit out of date. This year, we're actually focusing on this other thing." Super helpful, right? Like, it's great to know that you don't need to bother filling out that grant application because you're not going to get it anyway. Call them up and try to start creating that relationship. And if you can meet with them in person, even better. I know it's a little bit scary, but do it. All right, in our next video, we're going to talk about writing the proposal itself. We'll see you then.